Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, and hey now, and hey now. Welcome to our number three of the Line Talk 99.5. Glad you're here. So glad to see you. So glad to hear you. And appreciate you. Appreciate you. I do. By the way, on the text line, Tanya says, explain a milk sandwich. How is that delicious? We don't know. Jeff says it's a conspiracy between Big Bakery and Big Dairy. I think they've got a weather machine, and whenever they need to make some more sales, they turn on the snow. Big Dairy and Big Bread involved in weather modification and chemtrails. I believe that. By the way, weather modification is real, and so are chemtrails, but whatever. Way back, Nick says, milk and bread was the cheapest thing to buy. Milk and bread and milk and bread was the cheapest thing to buy to survive on. So maybe that's where that tradition started. Christina says our kids don't drive at 16. That's society's norms, and we don't follow those. He said, your son may be mature enough to handle a car at 16, but most are not. Two boys were 18 and 19, and our daughter had anxiety so bad that she didn't get her license until 25. She lived at home while going to school full time and eventually work. I drove her around everywhere. Ultimately, her anxiety improved and she got her license, started driving everywhere, and moved out all in a matter of a few months. Boy, that's an ideal situation. You just introduce something new into their life, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're out of the house. We also sent one son to driver school, and that really made a difference. All of them had to have a lot of highway miles under them before getting their license and taking their cars off on long trips. They also had to pay for their own cars and insurance. There's still a 14-year-old at home, and he'll probably get his license around 17 or 18. Question: who made up this law that 16-year-olds can get driver's licenses, but you got to be 21 to drink, buy cigarettes, etc.? The bill was probably sponsored by Car Insurance Industries. Yeah, that's probably true. And I don't know, man. I think it's good for kids to start working at 16, if not earlier. If there's a job that where they can do that, working at grocery stores in the afternoon, bagging groceries, getting shopping carts, or there's a bunch of different jobs you could get, and it would be hard, I would think, for most parents to be able to manage their own work and getting kids to and from school and getting them to and from work and everything else. It's just not feasible. And so, I think in that aspect, 16-year-old drivers are a good thing. But also, if you need to know whether or not your kid's ready to drive. Like, I've ridden around, we do driving with mine, and I've had him. I put him on the interstate. I was like, let's go, baby. Let's go all in. I was like, if you can handle the interstate, which the biggest, I think for him, the biggest obstacle is going to be navigating the interstate system and figuring out where to go to and from. But um, when he gets on the interstate, he's just fine. He actually drives a little slower than I would like, but I'm not going to correct him on that. As long as he's hanging around the speed limit, but he's very careful, very attentive, seatbelt on, no phones, just stay super focused on the road. And that's what you got to instill in them.
And don't go slow in the left lane.
Yes, actually, that was another one.
That's
Do
probably
not.
the most important thing to remember.
And I told him, I said, don't even get in the left lane unless you've just got somebody that's poking along and they're going too slow that you need to get around them. Go to the next lane over. Don't even go to the far left lane. Just go one lane over from where that person is in order to get around them and get back on the right side. Because you should be in the right lane if you're not passing anybody, you should be in the right lane.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean, technically,
maybe.
most of us don't do that, but I'm saying, like, there for
At
him,
16, yeah, you need to start off in the right
yes,
lane.
for him, be in the right lane unless you're passing somebody. As far as I'm concerned, you stay there. But he's done good, and it's 45 minutes between our house and his mom's house, so he's got some roads to travel when it comes to that, and able to, you know, get down the highways, get on the interstate, figure out where to get off, how to merge, and everything else. There's a lot of intricacies that you have to teach them. Even something as simple as when you come up to a red light, and you're turning left, say on a 2-lane road. Uh, if it's just a regular green light, you got to yield until there's not any traffic coming the other way. The only way you can turn without having to yield is having an arrow
That's
pointed
true.
left, you know? And so,
And yellow means go.
yeah.
Don't stop.
And listen, as trying to just explain to them what's what on the highways, it's hard to do because you don't remember everything. You got to get out there and start seeing them firsthand to remember little things like a yield on green, or who goes first at a four-way stop, or staying in the right lane unless you're passing somebody, you know. Because there's a lot of different. There's one place in Leeds in particular, like if you're coming from Bucky's and getting on the interstate going towards Birmingham. So what happens is there's two entrances for that particular ramp, right? One of it's coming straight across, and that's for people that are coming down Highway 78 towards Leeds, where if they want to get on the interstate there, they're turning left at the light. And so it's a straight shot. They turn left, straight shot to the ramp. For the people that are going away from Bucky's and getting on the interstate, they get in the turn lane and they curve around. So essentially what you got is a straight road, and then you got one curving around. So two different ways of traffic coming there. Well, the people that are going on the straight there, they're actually the ones with the yield sign. So if you're
Yep.
doing the curve, you don't have to yield, but the people going straight do. Normally it would be reversed, and the people coming around the curve
Right. I've often noticed that at that
would
intersection.
be the one to yield, because you usually don't see a yield sign when you're just going straight. And so many people ignore that yield sign. And so, well, it was another thing I had to tell him, like, when you're coming around this corner, you need to just go ahead and yield. You need to go ahead and look and make sure that there's nobody coming, or if there's somebody there, that they have stopped and they are yielding, because thankfully, if two people were to get there at the same time, there's probably enough wiggle room to keep from hitting each other. But still, you don't even want to put yourself in that position.
No,
So,
I would hate having to learn to drive again.
yeah, that would suck, wouldn't
It would. It really would.
Yeah.
Man, I'm such a good driver now, though. I'm probably the best driver ever.
What's your driving record?
It's good.
How many tickets you had?
Speeding tickets, 3
3 your whole life?
my whole life.
Rex?
Knock on wood and 0.
0.
Mm-hmm.
Even ones that weren't your fault.
Correct.
Wow. That's pretty good.
I hope I just didn't jinx myself.
I've had like 7 or 8.
Not you.
Mhm.
No.
Well, there was that house I crashed into.
The house, yeah, that would do it. But you weren't in the car, though, were you?
Oh, yeah, I was in the
Oh,
car.
that's right. You were in.
Does handicap gate count as a crash or just incidental damage to a vehicle?
I think only if the police are called, you have to count it as a wreck.
Yeah, I didn't call the police.
So, no, it doesn't count. There's no record of it
Yeah.
except for on air.
Okay, so that one doesn't count. Had a Corolla, Toyota Corolla, that I wrecked, ran into the back of somebody on Green Springs
Mm.
when I was working at the previous station. Had the Ford Explorer Sports Track that I flipped 7 times.
That'll do it. Wow.
I think it was like 4 times it flipped.
Well, 1 time's good, but 4 times is definitely.
Yeah.
Man.
There was that one. There was another one. I had what was it? It was an older car. Was it a Mustang? I don't remember, but I wrecked that one on my birthday in Anniston.
Oh, that's fun.
Somebody plowed through and hit me. Wasn't my fault, but had that happen. What was the other one? I had another Mustang, which was my dream car. It was like a 2001 Mustang that I got back in '04, I think.
2001 Mustang.
Or maybe it was a 99. And I got it in '04. It was the first year they had the kind of the box lights.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And I was out mud riding all night with my buddies, and I was driving down Highway 75, and it's about a mile from the house, and just fell asleep. Loud in the back of some poor old man's truck.
I did fall asleep at the wheel once, but I didn't hit anything.
Yeah.
Just went off in the median and spun around a couple of times.
I say all that to say I'm a good driver. Obviously.
I mean, yeah, outside of the 7 incidents.
Outside of all that, I am a good driver. I
agree with that.
I mean, my wife doesn't agree, but
well, does any wife ever?
No.
I never park in the right parking place ever.
What, at your home?
No, if me and my wife are going somewhere, apparently I pick terrible parking places.
Or you park too far away from the building?
Apparently, or too close to somebody, or too far away, or it's like I can't win.
I'm good on the parking game because I've got so many cameras on my vehicle that I can see front, back, sides, overhead. Like I can, you know how the original Grand Theft Auto games was just an overhead view of you walking around the city and stealing cars and all that. So it's one of those. So you can actually watch from overhead and see that you're perfectly in between the lines.
I've got one of those, and I am spoiled now. I will not park until I hit that camera.
That's
to make sure I'm right perfect.
That's why I don't really like teaching my kid how to drive in my vehicle, because there's too many bells and whistles. I mean, it's got lane assist and all that kind of stuff. You know, if there's somebody in your blind spot, it beeps at you. If you get off the road, it beeps at you. I want him to drive without all of that. I want you to know how to drive, you know, without cameras all over. I want you to be able to drive with just rear view side mirrors and one rear view mirror.
All right, that's a good way to learn.
And even a stick shift, if I can get that in there.
Man, 5-speed.
Yeah. That's what I want you to learn how to drive. And then after that, you can get the new fancy bells and whistles.
That's a good thing to get. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. That's what I suggest.
That's how we learned.
That's right. All right, 205-545-9950. 545-9950. I will say, as we were talking about Greenland last hour, Gavin Newsom, who had been throwing a temper tantrum the entire time in Switzerland, was set to speak at one event that was the USA House, is what they call it. So it was the U.S.'s section of the World Economic Forum, and apparently his speeches got canceled at the last minute. It says Newsom was denied entry into the USA House in Davos following pressure from the White House. Trump's State Department is the partner of the official U.S. venue. The governor's office said Newsom had 2 speaking engagements scheduled, but was declined entry. Now, if you read the full story, you find out that Newsom had been invited to speak on Wednesday at the event sponsored by USA House, which for the first time was recognized by the U.S. government as the country's official headquarters at Davos. An organizer told his office that they had opted to not include any U.S. officials in the talk focused on CEOs and other business leaders. So that goes back to the question that you originally had, Kerry, which was, why is Gavin Newsom even there?
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
It'd
be like Kay Ivey going.
Right. Like, you're not a CEO. You're not a business leader. You can't even run your state appropriately. Like, there's no need for you to be there. But ultimately, he ended up getting on some other panel, and he gets out there, brings out a pair of knee pads with Donald Trump's signature on it. Because his whole gimmick since he's been there was, all the other world leaders are on their knees kissing Trump's ass, or, you know, maybe doing something else. And everybody's like, whatever, dude. Like,
who's this guy again?
Who is this?
Who?
Gavin Newsom?
California. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why is he here?
What a loser. And so he's mad about Greenland. He's mad about U.S. national security. And he says that the Danish and the Europeans should be the ones to control Greenland and just hope that if anything goes haywire with our enemies, that maybe we'll be all right.
That's the very thought that should keep him at home.
Right. Because you can't listen. I hate to say this, but you can't trust the Europeans. All right. There's a reason we left that part of the world in the first place, but you cannot rely on these people for your national security. You couldn't even rely on these people to take care of you if you became a citizen of their countries. They are the worst example of governance that you're likely going to find across the globe. I mean, don't get that's probably worse, but as far as civilized society, it's pretty bad governance, and some people are finding that out. As a matter of fact, there are U.S. citizens with bad cases of Trump derangement syndrome that have been leaving the country to go over to Europe, and they've been learning a hard lesson as to why the U.S. is the greatest country on earth. I'll give you that when we get back. All right, as we keep going, they've restarted this hearing. I'm not going to go with it long form, but while Jim Jordan's talking, they're making fantastic points. Let's just dip into this for a couple minutes.
Which would be the customary, normal way, I think, of doing it.
I did not make the determination that this source would be confidential, but given that this person was working on an investigation involving attacks on the Capitol, and given the violence in that, it makes complete sense to me that the Bureau would.
You know of any of the other special counsels who approved payments to like I don't remember Robert Mueller approving payments to confidential human sources. I don't remember Durham. I don't remember her. We brought all those guys in front of the committee. It's the first time I've ever heard of a special counsel having to pay secret money to someone to get information when you had the broadest subpoena power you could possibly have. You aware of any of the other special counsels who had to do this?
I am not aware whether confidential sources were or were not used in those
That's
investigations.
because I don't think they were. I don't think they were.
I'm not aware one way or the other. I can say that the use of confidential human sources is a standard thing done by the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
The time of the gentleman from Wisconsin has expired. I now yield to the gentlelady from Georgia for 5 minutes, Ms. McBath.
Thank you, Chairman. And Mr. Smith, thank you for appearing today to speak publicly about the major issues that you handled as special counsel.
Okay, here
Your
we go.
work
We're not
on
gonna
election
listen to that.
interference.
Again, big love fest from Democrats that are making no points. But what I was mentioning on the other side about U.S. citizens with bad cases at TDS leaving the country and moving to Europe, there are bad choices, and then there's this. So how far, this is the question I want to pose. How far can someone brainwashed by the media go in their hatred for Donald Trump and just the overall MAGA movement? As it turns out, as far as across the Atlantic, right into unsanitary camps, here's what I got. Reports have popped up that Americans who have fled to the Netherlands to escape the Trump administration are now living in filthy refugee camps. This is according to the Daily Mail. According to Dutch immigration authorities, 76 U.S. citizens claimed asylum in the country last year, which is a significant increase from the 9 that did in 2024. Many of those who have left are transgender or parents to transgender children and are housed in the queer block of an overcrowded camp in the northern village in the Netherlands. It says the camp is reported to resemble a prison with guards at every gate and less than desirable amenities, with bodily fluids smeared all over the walls. Asylum seekers are permitted to leave the camp, but must be present for daily bed checks. They are also given a small allowance so they can purchase food and cook meals in the communal kitchen. Many of the American refugees are transgender and are seeking asylum after allegedly being victims of hostility and discrimination in their home states. Imagine that you got TDS so badly that you say, I'm going to apply for asylum in the Netherlands. And you get there and you end up in conditions that are 10 times worse than any illegal in this country has to go through with their detention or immigration proceedings. Even the ultra-liberal Dutch Ministry of Asylum and Migration so far considers the alleged mistreatment of LGBTQ individuals in the U.S. is not grounds for refugee status, but I guess they let them come anyway. I saw pictures of this, and it's just bodies upon bodies just laying on the ground under tents outside in these refugee camps. You got to really hate Donald Trump to say, you know what, I'm going to give up living in luxury. I'm going to give up my DoorDash and my iPhones and my Netflix, and I'm going to flee to the Netherlands, only to find out that you're living in third world country conditions. A little bit of a wake up call. And I think a lot of people in this country need that, honestly. I think it would be good for people that hate this country so much, the people that hate capitalism or hate Trump or hate whatever, like, go live in one of these other countries for 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. Probably really only need to do 2 or 3 days to understand really how good you got it. So many ungrateful individuals in this country have no idea what the rest of the world goes through. Whether you're living in a refugee camp or you're living in an ultra police state like China or North Korea. These people could really use a wake-up call. If they went and did that, if we forced these individuals to go do them, we've often said with Gaza and everything else, Queers for Palestine, send them to Gaza, see what happens. If they spend a week in these places that they think are better than the United States of America, they would come back as the most patriotic individuals you have ever seen. All right, y'all, hop on the YouTube. Let's do it. Let's get it together. Chop, chop. Real Talk 99.5 TV. Hop in there, hang out with us, and give me a hey now in the chat room. Real Talk 99.5 TV on YouTube. Search it, subscribe, all that jazz. Our numbers have been going up every day, man. Every single day, we're getting new people in the mix. And not only do you get the live stream, but we post shorts and reels and different clips from the shows and everything else. You get to watch all the shows. It's good stuff, man. Especially for those of y'all that are sitting in an office and you listen to 99.5 all day. It'd be a lot cooler if y'all could see us. And I try to give the camera some love. I try to make eye contact when I'm talking, especially when I'm super serious. Eye contact's important. Mandu.com, MANDUU.com is the website, and Mandu is the place. What kind of place is that? Well, it's a place where you get your life back. You get your health back. I did a Mandu session yesterday, and I told my trainer, I'm like, I'm going to be in bad shape over the next couple days because I'm going to be so sore. We cranked it up. I had missed a week. They knew I missed a week, and they knew I needed to make up for it. And they made sure we made that happen. And so I can't thank the trainers enough, and I can't thank Paul and Jolie enough for giving me the opportunity to do Mandu and get these workouts in, because I'm a different person because of that. Y'all would be amazed if you could go back and look at the pictures of me before I started Mandu. It's a huge, huge difference. 15-minute workout. Every single session is only 15 minutes. It's never longer. It's never shorter. It's 15 minutes on the dot. By the time you get started, it's over with. And you got a workout in within that 15 minutes that you can only accomplish in the gym by spending 4 to 6 hours. Like, dead serious. It's that intensive a workout. It's electronic muscle stimulation. They put you in the suit. They turn on the machine, and it sends electric pulses to your muscles all over your body. You're working out all your muscle groups at one time, and it's so effective that you can't even do it 2 days in a row. You have to wait 48 hours before your next one because your muscles have to have time to heal. So I want you to get in on this. I want to see you getting your free session at the very least. There's no obligation. You just get in there, try it out, and see what you think. If you like it, if you think it's for you, sign up, baby. 18 years old, 80 years old, male, female, bad back, bad knees, bad whatever. This is for you. I'm telling you. So call them at 205-438-6003. Remember, they're in Homewood. 205-438-6003. And online, mandu.com, where you can find all the information for the Huntsville location. And coming up next month, the Tuscaloosa location. I want to see y'all in there. Make sure you mention Andrew McLean when you do. Brett's on the line. Brett, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Hey, man.
I think I finally figured out what's going on. You're younger than me, and you think America's great.
Yes, it is.
But I know it when it was greater than it is now. And I've seen the decline. And you don't see the decline.
You
Right?
mean the decline is happening now?
Well, yeah, the last 20 years.
Well, I've seen the decline over the past 20 years, absolutely.
Okay, so where do you see it going up now?
Oh, I see it in many aspects.
Oh, okay.
I see it. I
But-
see it in the economy. I see it in global geopolitics. I see it soon to be in the housing market. I see it in jobs. I see it in
Housing
getting control
market
on
is our problem.
immigration.
Housing market needs to go down, bust 300%.
Well, I agree. Homes need to go down. I think they will be very soon.
No, they need to go down to $40,000.
Okay.
Why is that such a? When I bought my house in '92, it was $40,000, Andrew.
Okay.
So what's out of line with that? I mean, from the history of Jesus till 1992, a house was only $42,000, and now you don't think it needs to go down to say $50,000?
I mean, that would be nice, but it's not realistic. I mean,
Why is
times.
it not realistic? Explain that to me.
What do you mean? Explain it to you. I mean, it's
Well,
just.
you say it's not realistic for it to go down to 50.
I mean, there could be scenarios where you do that, but at that point, if homes are that cheap, then there would be no homes available. They would be all bought up, especially if something wasn't done about the BlackRock and the Vanguards buying up single family homes.
They buy up
They would own
6%.
all the homes at that point.
No. See, here's the problem. They own 6% of the houses. You know who bought all the houses and drove the price up and gave even more money than they were asking for houses 3 years ago? You know who was doing that?
There's a lot of different
All these
things.
people
but-
all these people trying to open up Airbnbs because they got to borrow more money for the houses because they were going to be Airbnb rentals, not commercial rent or like not family rentals, right? So they were going to pull in $6,000 a month versus $1,000 a month. So they got to raise the price and they could go as high as they wanted to.
So Airbnb is what wrecked the housing market.
Yes, 30%. They got 30% of all the houses. Not BlackRock. You want to blame them? I mean, I hate corporate America too, but no, it's American people doing it to each other.
Okay. You don't think maybe immigration plays a role in this, and millions and millions of people coming across the borders and requiring
Well,
homes themselves?
Okay, well they've all gone now. So where's the housing prices going down?
They're not all
You want to
gone.
blame it? Everybody wants to blame somebody else for their ignorance. Those people, no, you're in charge of your life. If you're not, if somebody can throw a wrinkle in your plan because they move, an immigrant come into your neighborhood, now your house went from 50,000 to 300,000. Come on, man. Y'all got to start thinking for yourself and stop blaming everything on somebody else.
Well, don't you call this radio show all the time and blame Donald Trump for everything?
No, I don't blame him for everything. I just know he's doing stupid stuff.
When's
that's not
the
doing
last
any
time you
good.
called this radio show and didn't blame Trump or Republicans for something? Do you remember the last time you did? I didn't think so.
You said did I blame? Did I blame anybody for this now? Did I blame a Republican
You
for this
blamed
now? or
you blamed
Donald
the
Trump?
Airbnb market.
Okay, well that's what actually happened. But see, y'all can't get past left and right, blue and red. So therefore, it's hard to talk to you people.
Gotcha.
But you're going to keep going. You'll keep going down the road. See, y'all are the same people that sat outside the plantations, and even though your wages were being suppressed because of the slaves inside, you were okay with that.
Okay, Brett. All right, buddy. You have a good day.
Yep.
All right. I would like to have a conversation with Brett, but I genuinely don't understand what he's saying. Like, it just makes no sense.
He wants houses to be $50,000. All houses.
And I was sitting outside a plantation
Yeah,
complaining about slaves.
why were you doing that? Why were you doing that? I mean, how did you get time to do that?
I don't know, man. I don't understand it. And it's always bizarre to me because I hear a lot of people make this argument or, have this hot take, if you will. Brett's the only one that really says it to me, but this whole thing about all you see is blue and red. You're just everything red is good and everything blue is bad. Now, I will agree everything blue is bad, but they've done that themselves. Like that's not me projecting. But have I not spent enough time criticizing Republicans on this show since its inception?
I think you have, yes.
I mean, the Republican Party was just as guilty for trying to destroy Trump as the Democrat Party was. I don't trust Republicans as far as I can throw them. There is a small handful of Republicans in Congress that I like, that I feel like are good people. People like Tim Burchett. But is Lindsey Graham a good person? No. Is any of these other individuals, are they good people? Have we seen them stand up for the middle class or the average American? No. We constantly see them side with Democrats. So no, it's not a blue versus red thing. That is a very narrow-minded, simple way of thinking. That's an argument that people have been making for a long time. Come up with something new. It's dumb. All right, let's go. Let's go, JC. JC, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man.
Look, I'm not a gambling man by nature, but I'd bet $100 that old Brett's on a watch list somewhere.
He might be.
Listen, man, houses can't go down until 2x4s go down, until plywood goes down, until screws go down. But anyway, look, there's not a lot to laugh about often anymore. But you had me so tickled earlier talking about these people going to the Netherlands seeking asylum, and my takeaway that just really cracked me up was that, you know, as crazy as those people are, they still recognize the importance of legal immigration, and they went and filled out paperwork instead of sneaking across the border in the Netherlands.
That's exactly right. They did it the legal way. Now they ended up in a god awful refugee camp, but they did what they were supposed to do, because even they, no matter what they say about this country's borders, even they understand that they're not going to be able to go to another country and that country's government put up with that crap.
100%.
So they never try it.
Oh, man. Well, that's all I got, brother. I'm going to sit back and listen to the rest of the show, and I'll be praying for Brett. Y'all have a good day.
All right, JC. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's quite amazing. You're so upset with Trump over the immigration law, so you moved to the Netherlands, but you ended up following their strict immigration laws. Got it. E is next. E, what's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? So if I get this correctly, if I understand this correctly, you and I are the problem that car prices are going up so high because you and I are rideshare drivers and we have to have cars, so that's why cars are going up.
That's right. That's right.
So we're the problem here.
Yep. The fact that you even bought a car is the reason car prices are so high. The fact that you bought a
Damn
house.
it, I wish I would have known this.
Mm-hmm. See, we could get the prices to go down if we just don't buy anything. And
exactly, and if you don't use any, wires, any engine, transmissions, any fluids, any motor oil or whatever, prices will be down, but it's our fault.
Yeah. Well, again, for somebody who claimed that we're the ones that are constantly blaming other people for all the problems, he does have a lot of fingers pointing in several different directions. So,
all right, buddy. I'll talk to you next time.
See you, man. So that was the first time I've heard the Airbnb market being the sole reason that home prices are high. But as JC said, you're talking about the price of 2x4s. You're talking about the price of everything that goes into building a home is the reason homes cost what they cost, not because somebody converted their second home into an Airbnb. It's about the materials. It's about the cost of labor. It's about the cost of the fuel that gets the materials to the job site. It's also the cost of the bureaucracy. Take California, for example. Look at their attempts to build homes in a place like Los Angeles or the entire state of California, for that matter. The reason the price of a home is going to be much higher is because of the red tape that has to be gone through in order to just start building a house in the first place. It's common economics, and I'm not a smart man. I'm not an economist, but, most people can piece these together and not come up with something crazy like Airbnb is wrecking the housing market. Material costs, demand is a big one, which again goes back to pouring millions of people into this country. And then the aspect of major corporations and shareholders sucking up homes left and right so they can force you into renting. It's amazing that, and this all ties into the housing market, but it's amazing what people pay to rent an apartment these days. Like $1,200, $1,500 to rent an apartment with a couple bedrooms. Like, how crazy is that? Same thing with cars, man. You hear the amount of some people's car payments each month, and you're like, how did you even get yourself in that position? Like, it's crazy. But again, economics 101 is not for everybody. So, Richard the Cop, what's up?
Well, I'm going to say a couple things. First, congratulations to my president for walking in there and taking what we need to defend us. Number two, when you were talking about the hellhole in the Netherlands, I was up here at the summit picking up a girl from a restaurant from South Africa that works here. And she heard what was being said, and she's like, well, yeah, I came here for a reason. I came here to better myself. And then the next thing, when Brett was on there, she goes, what an us? What an us? I said, yeah, he is. So I've called and made Brett a appointment at the Alabama Colon and Rectal Institute down on 4th South to get his head surgically removed from his butthole.
Yeah, hopefully he's got insurance for that, too.
But my president puts his sights on something, tells them what it is, and came out. We don't have to pay nothing for it. Come on now. That's it right there.
Because that was going to be...
take him to the car.
For the Democrats, that was going to be one of their biggest complaints. They were going to whine and complain about the taxpayer dollars that were going to be spent on Greenland, and he walks out of there with a big fat nothing. We ain't going to pay nothing for Greenland.
Well, the only thing I can pray for is that J.D. Vance is as good a president number 48 as President Trump is now, because he's learning from the master and appears to be paying very close attention when you hear him speak and you hear him talk. And Carolyn Levitt, also known as the Soul Taker. Don't open your mouth stupid with her. Roll Tide, boys.
There's Richard the Cop. Yeah, this is one of the, I think, the greatest gifts from the Donald Trump era. With Donald Trump coming into politics, winning 2 elections, and doing what he's doing, is he is laying out a roadmap for governance unlike anything we've ever seen. Where maybe deep down we knew that this is what we deserved, but we had never actually seen it, so we didn't fully understand that this was actually possible. To have a government, to have a president stick up for the people of their country. And that roadmap is hopefully going to be taken up by many Republicans.